Good morning, everybody, and this is your SP 500 setups for today. Now, we did get a fairly bearish day on Friday, and I just want to put these three levels in because they are pretty much what we should be paying attention to today. I think the first thing is just switch across the weekly, and you'll see that is a bit of a rejection bar. Previous week was a big range bar, no real direction, and then we have almost a tweezer top set up at the moment, and the oscillators all grouped the upside. Looks like they're starting to cross over. You'd obviously want to see them below the 80 before you start looking at it as bearish signals. So for now, there are a couple of potential topping signals, and this is the first one. So we've obviously broken the trend line that has been in place since sort of mid-Feb. Crashed through it on Friday. Now the daily, if you have a look at the dailies here, you'll see pretty much an inside bar, hanging man type setup. Then we had confirmation, 2 days of confirmation. At the moment we're just sort of running to the upside a little bit, but everything here is still onwards and upwards. There's nothing really that is indicating a fall to the floor. But I think what you need to be aware of is we have broken through this 51-52 area that we were speaking about all of last week. So this 50-50 area is what you need to be paying attention. If we reject that, I suspect we're coming back to 51.12, 5100, and that would also set up sort of a inverse cup and handle. Could be a head and shoulders, a diagonal head and shoulders, but I don't really look for those patterns. And it could also be a double top, but obviously the double top would need to break below the low of last week, which is 5100. So those are all the levels we need to pay attention to. I'm just going to get rid of the diagonal because this zone that we're coming into would probably play a bigger part than that diagonal. So you can see on the 3 hour, we broke through 51.40, we broke through 51.52, and you can see how 51.50 area has been an area where buyers have been coming in, and then sort of Friday pretty much we just hammered through that for that second move. So that was the first move, pullback, second move, and we'll look at where the entries were. But bottom of range is the first option. We do have a crossover of the moving averages. We are above the 150. And oscillators group to the downside. So lots of mixed signals here. There are some bearish signals, and then there are also a little bit of bullish structure that is forming. Now, when we get down to the hour, you see what I mean. So, Thursday was down, was data driven, confusion, then sideways. We came back to test some structure. This pin bar here wasn't really adhered to, as you can see. Very rare that happens, but there's another pin bar to the right. So bottom of the range bar was what price was aiming for, and we rejected it. So on the hour there's a big inside bar which would have given you a 100-point stop loss for a big move to the downside. And if you look at it on the 15-minute, you're going to see a way better entry with very little risk. So you can see first rejection, second rejection. You could have jumped in there and just kept yourself a 50-point stop loss or 60-point stop loss. But or alternatively, just waited for better structure, and it comes with this bar here. So still the same kind of risk, 67 points, and that kind of accelerated to the downside. So the entry was definitely there at the short, as we suggested, cross over the moving averages, break of structure, come to retest structure and a rejection. So same setup for today. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think anybody is convinced what's going to happen with the market. So just get your levels in. You can see there's quite a few in this area. So I'm just going to put all of them in here, but this ideally it's going to be 50-50. So anything around 50-50 is where I suspect we are going to reject this area. Could be right here, 51.45, 51.50, but definitely we will be rejecting something in this zone, and we would be looking for 51.12, and then I think 5100 or 59.7 to be exact is a target to the downside. So that's kind of what I would be looking at. If we get back above 50.50 and we sort of run to the top here and come back to test it, then I would be looking for longs. But I think it just makes so much sense that we have some kind of a pullback onto some decent structure lower down on the higher time frames. This zone that we sort of tested at 5100 is obviously an area of strong support, as you can see. So V reversals are rare, so I suspect move into here, rejection, and then back down into this 5100 area. And that's kind of my setup for today. If you just drill back to the 8 hour, trend is still up. So you need to treat this little short setup as a short scalp. So you don't want to be trying to hold on to it forever. You start breaking below 5100, then your next logical area of support is going to be at 50.50. So this level to the upside is 51.50, not 50.50. 50.50 is down here. Let's just go back to the 15 minute. So 51.45, 51.40, 51.50, and 51.52. Those are the areas that you're looking for a rejection off. And it's also your line in the sand. If you get it back above it and build a base on there, then that would be your area for a long as well. Okay, anyway, that's it for me. Looking for the short just down to 5100, and then we can take it from there. Probably a buying opportunity that should brew here at 5100, but it'll be short-lived because the moving averages on the hour have crossed over. So the buying opportunity down here would be just back to the next bit of structure, and then you'd wait for the next setup. But for now, short it is off this zone of 51.50 area. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.